What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about a weapon tier list for all the assault rifles. We're going to be categorizing them in the same way that we did with the operators and defenders from one of our previous videos. I'm Ryan.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Michael.
I'm offered.
Alright, guys, let's get into it. Alright, so the first gun we got up is the 416C carbine. This is Jaeger's assault rifle. So according to the wiki, it's got a damage of 38 and a rate of fire of 740 rounds per minute with a mag size of 30. Now, if we look at its time to kill, when we look on this Excel sheet for the time to kill, the average kill in Siege is 10 meters away, so we're looking at the 10-meter column. Alright, so the time to kill for against one armor opponents for the 416C is 162, which is slightly below average for the assault rifle class. Against two armored opponents, it is 162 again, which is about average. And against three armored opponents, it is 243, which is slightly below average.
So, all in all, it seems like it's just
It's about
conclusively-
average to slightly below, yeah. But what you expect, because it's one of the only defender assault rifles that we have on this list. So, to start it off, I think it belongs in C tier because it's just an average gun. It has decent, good handling too. Not a lot of kick. Very easy to use. So I think it's just an average gun and should go in C. You guys agree with that?
Yeah,
I do.
Wait,
It
what
is a
is
very
it?
steady gun.
Jaeger's gun?
yeah, it's really steady.
Yeah, it's
Jaeger's
Jaeger's.
It's
gun?
powerful.
Yes.
That should be in B tier.
You think B?
Yeah.
You think it's above average?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can also see that because like I
actually,
said,
I
it is a
agree.
very steady. It handles well. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, huh? You said C still.
Because it's below average on time to kill compared to all the other assault rifles.
Well,
Okay.
we
I'll
have
go
to take account of
So I would put
those
the stats too. It doesn't matter. The
Yeah.
stats, you know, slightly
Yeah,
average.
I'm
It's-
going with C. then.
Okay, so we're gonna put in C and we're gonna base all of our other ones around that. So next up we got is IQ's Commando. Alright, so for IQ's Commando, it's got a damage of 48 and it's got a rate of fire of 690 rounds per minute with a mag size of 30. So this is on the higher end of damaging assault rifles. We check out its time to kill. Against one armor opponent, it has a 174, which is on the slower side for one armored opponents, slightly below average. Against two armored opponents is 174 again, which is just above average. And against three under armor opponents, it has 174 also. Same through all armor because of its high damage, which makes it one of the better weapons against three armored opponents. So
What was its time to kill?
174 across the board. So it was about average for 1 and 2, and it's above average for 3 armors.
I think it deserves B tier.
Yeah, I think it's very easy to handle too. Got an ACOG scope also, so I think it should go in B also. Everyone agree? Everyone agree?
Yeah, I think that's very fair to
C
say.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, B. Above
Wait,
average.
we're putting Jaeger's gun in C tier?
Yeah.
Well, C is
I
average.
thought we all agreed B tier.
Nah, buddy, we
Nah.
agree with C.
Yeah, I changed from B to C.
Alright, so we're gonna put this up in B tier.
Yeah. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, B tier.
B. Yeah. Okay.
Next up, I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's Thermite's 556XL. Alright, so for this gun, it's got a damage of 46, which is not horrible. A 690 rate of fire, which is the same as the Commando. And it's got a magazine of 30, which those stats are very identical and very similar to the Commando so far. And when we look at the time to kill, it has a time to kill of 174, which is slightly below average, just like the Commando. Same as the Commando for two armored opponents. And against three armored opponents, it's 174 because it's a higher damaging assault rifle, so it's above average against 3 armored opponents. So it's got the exact same times to kill as the Commando. It's very steady and easy to use, and I think when you're playing Thermite, you're pushing objective more, so you will be fighting those 3 armored people more. So I think it should go B tier, slightly above average.
Yeah,
Yeah.
laser or not laser. Thermite's gun is actually a laser beam. I think it's one of the most steadiest guns in the game. So
Yeah, I agree.
couple that with good damage, I think it deserves B tier.
Alright, so we'll throw it up in B. Next, we got the AK-12. It's got a damage of 44 and a rate of fire of 850. So that's the fastest fire rating and fastest hitting assault rifle we've seen. And it's got a magazine size of 30. And I believe its time to kill against 1 armored is 141, which is the second fastest against 1 armors. Against 2 armor, it's 141 again, so it's the second fastest against 2 armor. And against 3 armor, it's 141, which makes it the best assault rifle at damaging 3 armored as well. So overall, it's way above average on every single category. Heavy hitting weapon, easy to control, got an ACOG. This is an easy one, it goes right up an S, right?
Easily the best gun in the
Mhm.
game.
I don't know, that's easily, but
100%.
definitely.
Right up there with the ARS.
Okay, buddy. Stop
Calm
that.
down with that AR.
Only one other gun's going
We
in
haven't
S.
gotten there yet.
Only one other gun's going in S, and we should know
Shut
what
up.
it is.
Oh yeah, the AUG also.
No.
Oh my god.
Alright, so next up is the AR-33. This is Thatcher's assault rifle that's exclusive to him. Yeah, it has a damage of 41. It has a rate of fire of 749. So overall pretty solid there, but it's only got a magazine size of 25, so slightly below the average for assault rifles. Now if we look at the time to kill, it's got a 160 time to kill, which is about average against 1 armor. Against 2 armor, it's 160 also, so slightly above average. And against 3 armor, it's got a 240, which is below average. So, about an average gun on damage-wise. I would say it's pretty easy to control. Got a nice fire rate. It's not a horrible gun, but it's just average to me. So, I think it's between B or C, but I think it's C tier. Just
C
average,
tier.
middle of the line, yeah.
Wait, what
Average.
did you say, Micah?
He said C with me.
Okay, I'm gonna go with C too. Just plain average.
Yeah.
Decent gun. Oh boy, here we go. Next up,
S tier.
Next up, we got the AUG. This is IQ and Wamai's AUG. Let's pull up the stats for that. Alright, so the AUG has a damage of 42, which is solid damage with a rate of fire of 720. But it does have a mag size of 30, which is the standard for assault rifles. Let's look at the time to kill. Against 1 armor, the AUG has a 167 time to kill, which is slightly below average. Against 2 armor, it's 167 again, which is just about average. And against 3 armor, it has a 250, which makes it the second slowest time to kill out of all assault rifles against 3 armor. So, average damage falls off heavy against 3 armor on the slower shooting side, but it is a heavy hitting gun. I think it's between B and C, but me personally, I think it's C.
That's garbage. It's definitely A tier.
It's the second
No,
slowest
I'm
time to
being
kill
serious.
against 3
I don't
armor.
care. It's A tier.
The AUG cannot be above the Commando because statistically the Commando is better, so I think the AUG should be C.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to go with C.
That thing's a headshot machine.
Offer, do you agree,
I'm
C
gonna have
tier?
to. I'm gonna have to go with C, even though that the weapon is very amazing.
The weapon is good, but it does got a slow rate of fire.
Yeah, that's something you can't deny.
Alright, the F2 has a damage of 37, which is slightly below average for the assault rifles, but it's got a rate of fire of 980 rounds per minute, which is the fastest, but it's only got a mag size of 25, which is lower than average. When we look at the time to kill, the F2 has a 122 time to kill against 1 armors, which makes it one of the best assault rifles against 1 armor. Top tier. Against 2 armors, because it's low damage, it starts falling off here. It goes to 184, which is one of the slowest. I believe it's 3rd slowest assault rifle against 2 armor. And against 3 armor, because of its low damage, it's 184 again, which makes it below average once again. So one of the best against 1 armor, but one of the worst against 2 and 3 armor opponents.
What gun is this?
The F2.
The F2.
The F2. So unless you're
D tier.
unless you're fighting, and it also has crazy recoil that you have to control. So unless you're only fighting 1 armor opponent, you're at a disadvantage using it. So where do you guys think it should be?
I think the F2 is. I used to praise the weapon, but I don't think it's good. It's almost impossible to control. I think the F2 is one of the worst assault rifles. Its kick is unreliable, and that's ultimately what matters. Not even like how well you can control your weapon is the single most important stat, because that determines whether you can get the headshot or not. And with the F2, you don't have that option at all.
You need to hit
Kick is
headshots with
too
F2
much.
because its damage is so low also.
And yeah, the damage is low. The kick is insane. It's just not that good. I just think it deserves D tier.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say the same thing.
Alright, I was gonna say C, but we'll throw it in D.
Mm,
We'll throw it in D
well, I
because you
mean,
guys
just
agree.
look at the other weapons that
Yeah,
are in
that's
C
fair.
tier right
It's
now.
much more easy to control these. You're right. You're right. No, I agree.
Sure,
What do you
sure.
think, Micah?
He said D.
D.
E.
Okay.
E. No,
E.
that's safe for 1 gun. We'll get to that. Alright, so the G360 is on Lana and Ash. The G360's got a damage of 38, which is alright damage, and it's got a rate of fire, which is 780, which is also alright, and a magazine size of 30. We take a look at its time to kill. Against 1 armored opponents, the G360 is a 154, which is about average. Against 2 armor, it's 154, which is slightly above average. And against 3 armor, it's a 231, which is slightly below average. So it's pretty average on its time to kill overall.
Hmm.
It's a decent
There's
gun to
too many guns in C tier, but it's a C tier gun.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
It's just average. That's all you can say to describe it.
I think that's bad. To me it was between B and C, but I was leaning towards C also. You agree with it, Alfred?
Yeah, I actually do.
Alright, so we're gonna throw it in C. Alright, so next up is the L85A2. This is Thatcher's and Sledge's assault rifle. It has a damage of 47, which is actually slightly above average for the assault rifles, but it only has a 670 round per minute, so it's a slower fire rate weapon. And it's got the standard 30 round mag. Against 1 armored opponents, it has a time to kill of 179, which is slightly below average for 1 arm. It's about average, just slightly below against 1 armored. 179 against 2, which is slightly above average. And against 3, it's 179 because it's high damage. It keeps the same time to kill against all armor type, which makes it one of the better, second best gun against 3 armor. Oh, third best gun against 3 armor. It's up there against 3 armor, but it's slightly below average against the lower armor people. So it's a gun that's weaker against lower armor and stronger against higher armor, which if a Thatcher's using it, you're going to be pushing sight more often, so you'll probably be fighting those higher armor people more often. So I think in most situations it's better to go with this option over the AR-33, even though I personally like the AR-33 more. To me, it's between B or C for this one. I don't know what you guys think.
I think it deserves C. It's just another average gun.
Yeah.
Nothing really, nothing to push it above the other guns in C.
I mean,
So,
it does have one of the highest damage to kill against 3 armor, right?
which is good, but
I don't know. I was kind of leaning towards B.
To me personally, I think it should be B.
I don't think it's better than the AR-33.
Statistically, the damage time to kill is better than it, and it also has 5 more bullets than it too in a clip. I think
Okay,
it.
yeah.
I don't think the L85 either is really hard to control. I'm personally don't use it a lot, but I don't think it's bad.
What was the time to kill against 2 armor opponents and 1 armor opponent?
It was all
Do you remember?
174. That made it 1 armor slightly below, 2 armor slightly above average, and 3 armored one of the best.
Okay, no, I'm fine with it going in B. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, we'll put it up to B. Okay, we'll throw it up in there. Alright, so Ash's R4C has a damage of 38, so it is a slightly lower damage assault rifle, but it has a rate of fire which is 860, which is on the higher end, and it's got the standard mag of 30. Alright, so R4C's time to kill against 1 armor is 140, which makes it one of the best. Against 2 armor, it's 140, which makes it one of the best again. And against 3 armor, because it has a really low damage, it goes to 209, which makes it below average. So it falls off against the 3 armored opponents. So it's very good against 1 and 2 armor, bad against 3 armor. It doesn't have ACOG. So to me, it's very good, but it's not as perfect as the AK-12, so I think it goes in A.
And for what gun is this again?
It goes in A, definitely.
The R4CS is assault rifle. Very close to perfect, but it lacks the damage against 3 armor. Good rate of fire. Lacks the damage against 3 armor and doesn't have an ACOG, so I think it's not perfect, so I think it should go in A.
Why not B? Why not just above average?
Because it beats all these guns out DPS-wise.
Oh, okay.
And it's
yeah.
got a higher fire rate than them.
Yeah, A, I agree.
The only thing holding it back for me to get up into S is its time to kill against the 3 armor opponent when you fall below average. Alright, so next up we got the beautiful C7E. That's Jackal's assault rifle. So the Jackal's assault rifle, the C7E, has a damage of 46, which is the highest damage we've seen so far, and got a rate of fire of 800 rounds per minute, which is way above average fire rate, and it's got a standard mag of 30. So very good damage and very good fire rate. Its time to kill against 1 armored opponents is 150, which makes it the third best time to kill gun against 1 armored third best time to kill assault rifle against 1 armored opponents. Against 2 armored opponents, it's also 150, which makes it the third best time to kill gun against 2 armored opponents as well. And against 3 armored opponents, it stays at 150, which makes it and the AK-12 the best 2 guns at killing 3 armored opponents. So, one of the top damages on every single category, I would say that it has very, very controllable recoil. That thing's a laser. Got an ACOG, got a great mag, got a fast fire rate. I think it belongs up in S tier next to the AK-12.
I think it's an easy S tier.
I think it's between that and the AK-12 for the best 2 assault rifles in the game.
Yeah.
We all in agreement? So we're all in agreement?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Of course.
We'll throw it up into S. Mavericks M4 has damage of 44, which is slightly above average, and a rate of fire which is 750, which is alright. And it's got the standard rounds per minute. Standard magazine size for assault rifles. Its time to kill against 1 armored opponent is 160, which makes it slightly above average against 1 armored. 2 armored, it's 160 again, which makes it slightly above average against 2 armor. And 3 armor, it's 160, which makes it one of the best top 4 best assault rifles against 3 armor. So
I actually didn't know that.
to me, the M4 is easy to control. It might not be as easy as the guns we have up in S and A, but it's not that hard to control. It's definitely above average on all the time to kill. To me, it's between A and B here. Where do you
What's
guys
its
think?
What is
magazine size?
30, the standard assault rifle magazine.
This is the M4.
Yes, Mavericks M4.
For
Thing
30 and for it being
C
having
tier.
decent steadiness and that great damage, especially against 3 armor opponents. And mind you, he's gonna be breaching into the objective with the 3 armor opponents. So
I mean, even against 1 armor, Ryan, it was above average for 1 armor, above average for 2, and then one of the best against 3.
I think A is where he belongs.
To me, it's between A and B. I could see either or.
I think it belongs in
B
B.
tier.
What do you think, Auburn?
B.
B.
tier.
You both think B. Ryan,
I
me and you
think it
say A.
offers a little too much to be in B.
Yeah.
You think it should be
If
an
it's
A, Ryan?
magazines, well, yeah, I mean 30 is a good mag size and has a good firing rate, and the damage, I think it deserves to be an A.
It does beat the time to kill all these guns we have in B tier so far, and it's got a decent rate of fire too. I mean,
To me, it only makes
to
sense
me, it's
to put
close.
I mean, I think that's fair. You're giving all the reasons for it to be an A, and it makes sense to having it there since it has.
I mean, I think this one's tough. I think this is very borderline between the two. This is the hardest one to place here.
It has everything you would want for an assault rifle.
I mean,
It doesn't lack anything.
it doesn't got the easiest kick out there, but it's not that difficult.
Yeah, but it's really not that bad.
All right, so are offered, are you okay if we put an A for now?
No, yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
We're gonna throw in an A for now, and then at the end, if we decide to move it down, we'll move it down. All right, next up we have Zofia's M762. This assault rifle has a damage of 45, which is above average, and a rate of fire of 730 rounds per minute, which is about average, and 30 round magazine. Alright, so its time to kill against 1 armor opponent is 164, which makes it above average, slightly above average against 1. Against 2 armor, it's 164 again, which makes it slightly above average once again. And against 3 armor, it's 164, which makes it one of the best, top 5 best assault rifles against 3 armor. This one, damage stats is very similar to the M4. I think this gun has less kick than the M4 does. And to me, it's easier to control. Also, you can put angle grip on this gun too, so it's... I mean, I think this is a solid gun. I think it goes up into 8s here.
Yeah, I agree.
Zofia's, yeah, A tier.
Offer, do you agree with that?
I do.
Alright. Oh, baby. We got a good one next. Next up, we got Blackbeard's MK17 CQB assault rifle. This assault rifle has 49 damage, which is the highest damage we've seen so far, but it shoots at 585 rounds per minute, which is the slowest fire rate assault rifle. And it only has 20 bullets in the mag, which makes it the smallest mag assault rifle as well. If we look at the time to kill, it's 205 against 1 armor, which makes it the worst gun at fighting 1 armor. Worst assault rifle at fighting 1 armor. Its time to kill against 2 armor is 205 again, which makes it the worst assault rifle against 2 armor opponents. And against 3 armor, because of its high damage, it stays at 205, which makes it not the worst, but it's one of the worst. It's slightly below average.
That time to kill is such a
terrible
difference.
time to kill. Very, very slow fire rate. You can't miss any shots, or you're gonna run out of bullets in your clip. I think we all D. To me, I think it's gotta go down to E. You said
E.
You said 2, Ryan? E.
Yeah.
I mean, either of those, I'm fine.
Yeah,
Slowest
I
mag,
would say probably have
shoots
to
super
give it.
slow, and's got the worst time to kill out of all the assault rifles. If any assault rifle belongs there, I think it's this one.
Its only saving
Yeah.
grace is just the gadget that's attached to it. Like, other
Yeah.
than that,
Alright, next up we got the Para 308, which is Capitel's assault rifle. This has a damage of 48, which is one of the higher damaging assault rifles, but it has a rate of fire of 650, which is the second slowest rate of fire assault rifle, I believe, right ahead of the gun we just looked at, Blackbeard's Scar. And it's got the standard magazine size of 30. Against one-arm opponents, it has a 185, which makes it the second worst gun against one-arm opponents, right ahead of Blackbeard's Scar. Against two armor opponents, it has 185 again, which makes it the second worst gun against two armor opponents, right ahead of Blackbeard's Scar. And against three armored opponents, it stays at 185 because of its high damage, which makes it slightly below average. So it's very similar to Blackbeard's, but slightly better damage-wise. But it does have a bigger mag, and it does shoot slightly faster. Ryan, do you think this gun is easy to control?
very.
Very easy to
I
control?
like how you can. I like how it has the option of having angle grip on it too. Not that many guns that have that attack.
So it's very, I know the handling does help it a lot here, and it's good that it does have a 30-round magazine and shoots slightly fast. It shoots, I mean, it's still below average fire rate, it's second lowest, and it's got really low damage. So to me personally, I think it belongs in D.
D?
Yeah.
What?
What?
I think it's definitely C tier low.
Yeah, C if not borderline B. I don't.
Bo-
There's
border-
no way.
Ryan, the gun has the second lowest time to kill out of all assault rifles and has the second lowest fire rate out of all assault rifles.
The main thing I look for in a weapon is controllability more than
It is
just outright
controllable, yeah.
DPS.
But if you're looking at that, then Blackbeard's gun would be S. If we're only looking at that.
Blackbeard's gun doesn't shoot as fast though, because it's
It-
controllability and firing rate.
Ryan, they're just about the same speed. Blackbeard's is 580 and the Para is 650. So I don't see how we could put it C and B average. I think it's got to be slightly below. But if you people think it's C, we could do C.
I think after using it a lot, I definitely think it performs just as well as the other guns in C.
I think it's a fair choice to say that it should be put in the C.
You want to go with C?
Yeah.
And we'll throw it in C then. Next up, we got the Spear 308, which is Finca's assault rifle. This has a damage of
I
42.
can't even rank this because I don't even use it.
Which has a damage of 42 and a fire rate of 700, which it's about average damage and below rate of fire, and it's got the standard 30 mag.
Is that the lowest rate of fire other than the Scar that we've seen? so far?
No, the Para had lower than it. It had the third lowest.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Forgot.
The Spear has a 171 time to kill, which makes it the third worst assault rifle against one armor after the two we just mentioned. Against two armored, it has a 171 again, which makes it the third lowest, just ahead of the two we just mentioned. Against three armor opponent, it goes to a 257 time to kill, which is the lowest time to kill against three armored in the game. So third lowest in 1 and 2 armored, and the lowest in 3 armored. It only has the Spetsnaz ops. It's a below average shooting gun. I think it belongs in D tier.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Its stability though. Its stability is really high, isn't it? Has very controllable recoil.
It's a good solid stability gun. It's not bad.
I don't think that's enough to put it to average. So yeah, I think it's still below average.
Alright, so we're going to put the Spear in D tier. Before we go to the next gun, I just want to say Alfred had to go because they had some important things to do. It's just us three for the last few guns. The Type 89 has a damage of 40, which is about average, but it has a rate of fire of 850, which is definitely above average, but it only has a magazine of 20, which makes it tied for the lowest magazine of the assault rifles with Blackbeard. Now we look at its time to kill. Type 89 against one armor is 141, so it is tied with the AK-12 and makes it one of the top 2 best assault rifles against one armored. Against 2 armors is 141 as well, which makes it top 2, tied with the AK-12 once again. And against 3 armored, it drops down to 212, which makes it about average. Average to slightly below average. So the one thing I would say about this gun, it has crazy kick.
Yeah.
Very, very unpredictable kick and a small magazine, so it's very
The
unforgiving.
small mag.
But it
That thing
is,
is great.
but its time to kill is up there against 1 and 2 armors as one of the best, and against 3
I
armors,
would
it's
put it
average. It's
C tier.
yeah, to me it's very hard to place because stats wise it's above average, but handling wise it's way below average. So I can agree with C.
No, I said B.
D? Oh, to me I'm going with C.
No, not
Alright.
D. B.
Oh, B. Okay, I mean I was between B or C, so I could see that. I could see that. I could see that. I was leaning more towards C, but I could definitely see B.
It's hard to control, but when you do control
Yes,
it,
when you
it's
do-
very good.
Yes, you melt people. That's correct. That's true. That's true. What do you think with it, Ryan?
I agree with B.
B? Okay, so we'll throw it up in B there. You just have to get a good feeling for the recoil. Once you learn it, it's definitely above average weapon. Alright, next up we got the V308, which is Lion's assault rifle. This has got a damage of 44 and a rate of fire of 700, so above average damage and it's about average fire rate. But it does have a magazine size of 50, which makes it one of the best, if not the highest magazine size out of all the assault rifles. Time to kill on 1 armor is 171, which makes it slightly below average against 1 armor. Against 2 armor, it's 171 again, which makes it average. And against 3 armor, it's 171 again, which makes it slightly above average. So it's an average gun, according to its time to kill for the most part. It's slightly above average to about average on its time to kill. It shoots decent speed. It's alright. It's got its large clip, which is good, and it's got an ACOG. So to me, I think it goes in C. An average gun. Decent time to
Yeah,
kill.
I haven't really used
Decent-
it, so
decent
I
rate of
would
fire.
just put it there.
I think it's just middle of the pack.
I think the gun leans more towards B, but I'm finally putting in C.
The only reason why I can't put it in B is the time to kill of these B guns is way above average when the Lion's assault rifle is just average. But its 50 round mag definitely helps it, and it doesn't have a lot of kick. And but it also is on the slower shooting side, which all these guns above it do have a above average rate of fire. Next up we got is the C8 SFW, which is Buck's assault rifle. This has got a damage of 40, which is about average, and a rate of fire with 837, which has it one of the better rate of fires, and has the standard mag of 30. Its time to kill against 1 armor opponents is 143, which makes it above average, actually top 5 best. Against 1 armor, against 2 armor, it's 143 again, which makes it top 5 best. And against 3 armor, it's 215, which makes it fall off to just about average to slightly below average. So one of the better hitting guns against 1 and 2 armors, and an average gun against 3. So its DPS is definitely a plus for it. It does, though, have one of the hardest recoil patterns. It's up there. Not as bad as the Type 89, though, but it's definitely sometimes hard to control, especially if you're using ACOG on it and trying to use it for long range. Where do you guys think it should go?
Probably C or D, just because that thing can be hard to control sometimes, and you can't have a foregrip on it or anything.
It does have a hard controlling damage, but its high time to kill is why I think it should go in C. It's above average time to kill, but really bad low handling, so I think it becomes just an alright gun.
They should give it to another operator that does have an under barrel attack.
That would be interesting. Like what they did with the Nomad's ARX, so you can put a foregrip on it. Okay. What do you think, Ryan?
I'm thinking C.
C?
Yeah, let's just put it C.
Okay. because stats wise, if it had good kick, it could be up here in A tier, but its kick is too heavy. That's what makes it hard. Next up, we got the AK-74M, which is one of Nomad's assault rifles. This has got a damage of 44, so it's above average damage with the fire rate about 650, which makes it about an average fire rate. It does have a 40-round magazine, which is above average for the assault rifles. So for the time to kill against one armored opponents, the AK-74M has a 185, which makes it about average. Against two armored opponents, it's 185 again, which makes it about average.
That's on the slightly
That one was slightly
higher time to kill, right?
What do you mean? It was about average. If anything, it was closer to slightly below average, but it was just about. It was
Yeah, that's
pretty
what
much
I meant.
smack middle in average. And
Okay.
against three armored opponents, it's 185, which makes it slightly above average. So pretty much overall, it's pretty middle of the pack on time to kill wise. It does have the larger magazine. It's got a decent kick. It doesn't have the best stats out there. It's got a lot of horizontal kick, but not a lot of vertical kick. I prefer its kick control compared to the ARX, but I know statistically it's not better than the ARX. It's middle of the pack of time to kill, so to me, I would put it C tier.
Yes, no
No,
complaints.
I was gonna put it B.
B. Yeah, if it had a higher time to kill, I would do B. And the 40-round mag does help it, but it's just average all around to me, so that's why I think C is where you should go. You guys good with that?
Right.
C tier?
I already said C.
C, you want to go in C? Okay, so we'll place it in
I
C.
mean,
for
I
now.
guess it overwrites me.
Oh, man.
Yes, sir.
Next up, we have Nomad's other assault rifle being the ARX. This has a damage of 47 and a rate of fire of 700, which is slightly below average. And it has a mag size of only 20, which is slightly below average. So good damage, below average on rate of fire and mag size. Now, when it comes to time to kill, the ARX. ARX is a 171 against one armor, which makes
It's dead. It's dead.
it has a 171 against one armor, which makes it slightly above average. Against two armors, it has a 171, which makes it again slightly above average. And against three armors, it has a 171 again because of its high damage, which makes it slightly above average. So it's slightly above average. It has a very low mag. It's got higher vertical kick than the AK-74 or alternative. Statistically, it's slightly better though. So to me, I would put it right above it into B tier.
I agree. The low mag size does hold it back quite a bit.
Low
though,
mag,
21.
It's A tier.
Even though
If it's not S tier, it's A tier. I'm sorry, but I was so against this gun. And then when I tried it on Lana, I was going off with it. And then I just tried it on Nomad, and now I can't go back to the AK. Like,
yeah, no, I think it's
just-
definitely better statistically than the AK-74M, but it does have more kick, slightly more than it. It does got that low magazine, so you need to
even
hit your
though it
shots.
has high kick, I can control its kick more than I can control like Habanas that we have on
Yeah.
B tier or any of those guns on B tier, and they can have foregrips and stuff. So I'm saying, you can use it on Lana with the foregrip, and
Yeah.
it's even more of a beam rifle. It's got to be A tier. It's just
No, I understand what you're
it
saying with that. The only thing that holds me
kills
back
so
though is
fast.
the.
The mag size is the only thing that I think holds it
Mhm.
from being like really, really good. But I just feel like I can kill people faster than I run out of the mag. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean to me, time to kill slightly above average, nothing crazy. It's got a decent rate of fire, slightly below average it was on that. It is a strong weapon. The 20-round mag makes it so it's hard to get
It
in.
feels way above average in game.
The 20-round mag makes it so it's kind of hard to get into multiple gunfights in one clip. So to me, it's definitely above average weapon. To me, it's
The
just
only
not up there
reason
today.
why I'm placing it in B over higher is because of how inconvenient that mag size is.
Mhm.
That it doesn't matter how good you are
I
with the
don't
gun.
find
that mag-
myself in a lot of situations. I mean, of course, there's been a few where I was frustrated because of the mag size, but I really don't get in a lot of situations where I have an issue with that.
So B it is. Close, very close though to A tier though. I think it's just off. The only thing that, if you look at the guns in A tier though, all the guns in A tier do. Every gun above it does have a higher time to kill than it by a slight margin, and none of the guns have such a small mag that's above it. So I kind of feels right in B tier, but I can see where it's coming from, where you would want A. Alright, so the final assault rifle we got is the F90. This is Gridlock's assault rifle. It's got a damage of 38, which is about average, and has a rate of fire about 780, which is about average, and a mag size of 30, which is also average. So looking at those stats, it's about average. We take a look at the time to kill, and it has a 154 time to kill against one armor, which makes it slightly above average against one armor. Against two armor, it's a 154 again, which makes it above average. And against 3 armor, it's 231, which makes it about average. So slightly above average against 1 and 2, or above average against 1 and 2 armors, but average against 3 armors. I think it's very easy control as well, Ryan. You think it's got a really easy kick?
Yeah, it's another one of the steady guns.
Yeah.
Really easy
ACOG
to
sight
control.
too. To me, it's slightly above average across all the stats. Easy, steady. To me, I would go B with it. But
Yeah,
I can see.
above average.
That's ridiculous.
You think it should
Why
be
do you
C?
say that?
How are we putting this gun on the same level as that?
Alright, so we're going to put it up in B.
That's garbage.
Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more content like this, please like, subscribe, help support us. You can check our social media links down in the description below. Also, I do want to note that we are going to be doing more of these weapon tier lists, including SMGs, pistols, and the rest of the guns. So, stay tuned for those in the coming weeks. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.